we have a problem here. Light E is doing whatever it feels like it. It is not matching light F. But if we get in here and kind of mess with it, oh, and now that works. So there's something going on back here with this connection. If I let go, something inside here is wonky, and also we start to lose a signal over here. We don't have a flashing next to the D. I don't know if the flashing will show up here, but this little dot will flash if it's getting information. So if we change our scene to say, oh, I don't know, 5, 3, 2, 1. Let's go a different one. Let's try 6. Oh, there we go. So it should be yellow, yellow, pink, red. We got pink, red, chaos, and that's stuck at blue. It's not getting any DMX information. I think the back panel here is bad. We are feeding from E to G. So what is going on with this guy? I can still mess with it. Oh, everyone's fixed. So something on the PCB back here is bad. I thought about just going to the show and like taping these down so they don't move, but that's kind of janky. I really don't want to do that. So might have to open up this guy. All right, so we got light E on the bench. I bought these used, and they came with these weird rubber gaskets. I don't think this is the way it's supposed to be. It's kind of coming undone. So I'm going to start by taking off this weird rubber gasket. Actually, one of these got past the screw head, so we'll just take this one off too. So this plastic should just come right off. I'm trying to get to this PCB in the back, just under here, which you probably can't see very well. So we flip this over. We've got 2 screws per port around the power as well. Really don't want to strip these. Okay. How close are we to getting this out of here? Well, not yet. Oh, we've got 4 screws holding in the LED panel. Let's try taking that off. No, I have never done this before. Whoops, that's in there now. These are tiny little screws. That one's in there too. Want to join your friends? Go for it. Okay, everybody's in there. Now what happens? Okay, this comes loose. We have a connector holding the board. See if we can get that off. All right, so this little PCB here is the one that just loosened up. That plugs into the DMX. I really just want to reflow these solder joints because that's what seems the flakiest, right? I don't really want to mess with too much more in here. I do need to get these screws out of here, so let's get those out. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Just put these over here. These are screws for here. And these 4. These are for the D. That's for these guys here. Let's just poke around in here a little bit. Looks like we've got some firmware chips here. Version 1.1. That's what shows up when you turn it on. Slimpar, say 1.1. Yep, 1.1. We've got our power, a little transformer here, and our display up here. Alternatively, here's our 12 volts. You can run everything through the 12 volt input, through this input here. I'm really just looking for anything else that looks loose or questionable. I'm surprised they use like these crimp wire nuts in here. Am I pushing, when I cram in the DMX connector, is anything else getting upset. So everything comes through here, DMX in, out, parallel through here to this connector, which comes into this bundle. So this connector here with the red, yellow, and black is this connector here. So I think I'm just going to try to reflow the solder on here and see if it does anything. And if we flush on the back, I'm going to screw these back in because they don't really need to be undone. So let's just do that now. I'm going to hold this in place and get these guys back in. Nice, loving pressure. Because these are going into, oh, that wasn't smart. They're plastic bosses in the inside. There's not much holding this thing in here. That was a little easier. Okay. And the last one. Nice and easy. Just want to get that in there. How are we feeling there? That feels pretty good. Okay. So what I want to do is just touch up. I'll do all 9 of these solder joints. So we've got, let's make a little room here on the bench. Got trusty soldering iron. So we're going to plug this in and give this a few minutes to heat up. All right, it's been a few minutes. Got me some nice fine solder here. Whitened up my soldering iron mask here. Let's just see if we can't reflow some solder on these connections. A little bit there. These old solder joints don't want to really melt, do they? I can get some new solder in there. I don't know if it's helping though. Let's just turn this up a little bit. Just gonna try to reflow some of these here. A little solder ball on there. Don't like that. Just come in here, reflow that a little bit. And now we're a little warmer. I think we're able to reflow some of this old solder. Let's try these 3 over here. I'm guessing it was the input, which would have been the one on the left. So it's this one, I think, was the bad one. Come on, buddy. Just flow some new hot solder in there. Okay. Let's get a little more here. Fresh solder for everybody. Last one. Okay. So I'm looking at this. What else could have been wrong here? This is this over to here. If this was janky, let's make sure that's good. The connector is seated. It looks like it's seated pretty well in there. Yeah, I guess the only thing to do is put it all back together and see what happens. Start with the LED panel. We are keyed. That's what the underside looks like if anyone's interested. Not much to it. Or wires. Right back into this PCB here. Line up our holes with these holes. Drop that guy in there. Trying to get too many fingerprints on stuff. And use these tiny screws and not drop them in there. That's going to be a challenge. Let's get this guy started. These are tiny. For my sanity, let's just flip this over. Get these screws a little closer to me. Is there a little more room for my fingers on this one? Yeah, just get that in there. Don't fall inside, please. Okay. And these black screws are hard to see on the camera, but these 4 little ones hold the LED panel in. Let's see if I can't just get this in place first. It's the last one, which means I'm going to drop it. Oh boy. There we go. Tighten everyone down. I could test it before putting it else back together, but where's the fun of that? Actually, I'm going to take a minute to wipe this off. See, that's a little better. This just sits right there. Get our weird rubbery gasket thing. I don't think this is supposed to be what you use, but it's what we have. That's what came with it. Probably why it was not very expensive. Let's line up a couple of these. It's hard to see. Get that guy. Yeah, there's no indexing on where this thing really is supposed to go. But I think as long as we've got it sealed and we're kind of protecting ourselves, we're all right. Okay. All right, let's go power up and see if it does what it's supposed to do. Bring in some power here. No magic smoke. We like that. 1.1. That's what we saw on the chip. Still says 19 from the last time we used it. All right. Basic functionalities here. We like that. 3 channel, 7 channel, 19. All right. Let's plug it in and see what happens. All right. We're back. We're plugged in. Everyone seems to be happy. Scene 1 is what we expect, just the 4 front lights. Scene 2, rear lights. All right, so E did what it was supposed to. It's a little bit brighter. And here's scene 4. We should get G and H coming on. We do. Did we actually fix it? Let's check. All right, we've got everyone talking together. This is the yellows in the back, red in the middle. That's good. Okay, so we've got some fading in the back. Yep, fading on the sides here. I've also noticed that these get desynced over time, which is fine. Okay, that seemed to work. We're going to use this in a couple days and see how all this goes.